On the news tonight, Major General Musa assumes office as 18th Defense Chief, vows to improve welfare of Nigerian military personnel. Nigerian Navy welcomes new chief as Ogala vows to end all theft and illegal refining. And Vice President Kashim Shettima restates federal government's commitment to polio eradication by the end of 2023. A warm welcome to News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I am Mary Kanu. The newly appointed Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Christopher Musa, has taken over as the 18th Defense Chief with a promise not to let Nigerians down, particularly on issues bordering national security. Musa takes over from General Lucky Irabor, who was on the saddle for 2.5 years. In his valedictory speech, General Irabor expressed satisfaction with the level of growth and progress the defense headquarters recorded under his watch and called for a concerted effort, which is key for his successor, Major General Musa, to make an appreciable impact. Fielding questions from journalists at the defense headquarters after the hand-in and taking over ceremony in Abuja, Major General Musa vowed that the determination of the military to secure the country would not be doubted. Musa also assured that terrorists, bandits and other criminal elements will be properly dealt with.
I believe that the armed forces today is far much more better than what it was before the 26th of January 2021. I am hopeful that in future, when General Musa and his team will have also discharged their responsibilities, that the armed forces and indeed the nation will be at a higher level than what we find today. That's my prayer for you, and I believe God that it shall come to pass.
As the Chief of Defense Staff, my promise to Nigeria is that we will continue to improve on our mandate of sustaining peace and tranquility in the country. We assure every Nigerian to feel safe that the armed forces of Nigeria are up and doing. We're highly professional and we're going to be there for them. Nobody should doubt our determination to bring peace to Nigeria. I will ensure our troops, our men, wherever they are, they will never be left alone. We will ensure that we give them what they need, what they require, and we'll take out the issue of their administration, which is paramount, because a soldier that is well fed, well taken care of, will give you the best. So they should not doubt we are here and we're ready and we're willing to do that.
In a related development, assuming office as the 22nd Indigenous Naval Chief, Rear Admiral Emmanuel Ogala has vowed to prevent crude oil theft and illegal refining activities. Ogala took over the leadership of the Navy from Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, who had been in command since January 2021. In his remarks, the newly appointed chief, who spoke during a change of guard ceremony at the Naval Headquarters in Abuja, also called on the personnel of the Nigerian Navy to prioritize the safety and protection of the nation's maritime domain. On her part, the outgone Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, said the Navy under him pursued a single purpose to address the subversive and nefarious activities in the nation's maritime domain.
I firmly believe that navigating these challenges of maritime security is a journey, not a destination. Just like my immediate past Chief of Naval Staff has done his own part, we have to continue the journey. It's like a relay race. It is a journey and not a destination. And the relay race is a continuous one. So we have to keep up from where he stopped and make significant progress so that by the time we are leaving, we will have something to be happy about. I am confident that we can transform our maritime domain into a safer, more secure, and prosperous space for socio-economic activities to thrive in fulfillment of our national mandate.
Together from the principal staff officers, unit commanders at various levels, officers, ratings, and civilian staff, we were able to weather the storm together in fulfillment of the Nigerian Navy mandate. I charge you to keep up the high standards and remain devoted to the service. Most importantly, I enjoin you to sincerely extend the same cooperation to the incoming Chief of the Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu Ogala. I have no doubt that you will heed this call for greater achievements, irrespective of evolving challenges.
And Vice President Kashim Shettima has promised that the identified concerns around the financing of primary health centers across the country will be addressed by the administration of President Bola Tinubu. Shettima, who spoke at a party attended by the co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Bill Gates, the founder of Dangote Foundation, Aliko Dangote, and governors under the auspices of the Nigerian Governors Forum, identified polio as one of the major primary healthcare challenges in the country. The Vice President also said the new administration will implement policies to address Nigeria's 2 million non-immunized children. This next report has more details.
On August 25, 2020, Nigeria and the rest of Africa were formally certified free of the wild polio virus by the World Health Organization after no case of the virus was detected on the continent for 3 years. But about a year after the certification by the WHO in 2021, Adamawa State in northeast Nigeria detected cases of circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus type 2. This has been linked to poor vaccination campaigns and as such was top of the agenda at this meeting between Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima, American billionaire Bill Gates, Nigerian billionaire Aliko Dangote, and some governors. After parley, financial commitment was made by Bill Gates to the tune of $7 billion to support routine immunization in the country and the whole of Africa. Reacting to this, Vice President Kashim Shettima assured that the Tinubu-led administration was committed to eradicating the variant poliovirus by the end of 2023.
We have come this far because of these collaborative advocacies and utilization of our combined resources, and I assure you that we are going to utilize the National Economic Council, to which I and each of the 36 state governors belong, to adhere to the Abuja commitments. These commitments are built on the promises to achieve a polio-free Nigeria, strengthen routine immunization, and improve primary health care under the Council's supervision.
On his part, the chairman of Aliko Dangote Foundation restated his commitment to support efforts at eradicating polio and improving routine immunization, nutrition, and primary health care.
We genuinely believe that the National Economic Council and the decisions that you make together over the next 4 years will determine whether Nigeria has strong economic, citizens healthy, contribute to achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. To achieve all that, as you begin to think about what topics to prioritize at the NEC and Nigerian Governors Forum, I would like to call on all of you to put human capital development on top of your list.
In their separate remarks, governors at the event lauded the philanthropic interventions of the Dangote and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundations and expressed readiness to further collaborate with the foundations in the coming years.
Recently, Nigeria had their trial census. When they had the trial census, one local government is taken out of all the 6 geographical zones. Locally for us, Nasarawa State was selected and Karu local government was selected. Karu local government is the fastest growing local government in the whole of Nigeria.
As we work towards recovery and further building the resilience of our people in Borno State, following the devastating impact of Boko Haram insurgency, I would like to specifically request for your more support towards improving agriculture, working directly with smallholder farmers and government and national NGOs that are not afraid to go to where poor people live.
The $7 billion donation to Nigeria, according to Bill Gates, is necessary because of the reduced amount of aid intervention flowing to Africa due to the Russian and Ukraine crisis, and is to be expended through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation over the next 4 years. Mary Kanu, TV360, Nigeria.
And now to legal matters. The Presidential Election Petitions Court has admitted certified copies of the academic and work records of President Bola Tinubu tendered by the People's Democratic Party and its candidate Atiku Abubakar. The documents include a BSc certificate from Chicago State University, a National Youth Service Corps discharge certificate, and a Mobile Nigeria Oil PLC certificate of service. The PDP brought the documents through the subpoenaed witness Mike Enahoro Eba, a private legal practitioner who alleged that the documents were purportedly obtained by Tinubu but bore the name Bola Adekunle Tinubu. Although all the respondents objected to the admissibility of the documents, the court has admitted them in evidence. The petitioners are challenging Tinubu's victory in the February 25 presidential election. And the judiciary has been identified as a key player in strengthening the nation's electoral processes before, during and after elections. This was the outcome of the Nigerian Bar Association section of Public Interest and Development Law Annual Conference with the theme Post-Election Nigeria, the Judiciary in the Eyes of the Storm. Speakers at the event tasked judges and lawyers on their critical role in upholding the integrity of the electoral process in the country. Our correspondent Sidney Okafor has more details in this next report.
21. The central focus of this year's annual Nigerian Bar Association Speedel Conference is to scrutinize the role of judiciary in the just concluded general election that produced Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the 16th president of Nigeria, as well as 18 new governors and 10 returning governors. Speakers at the event, mostly from the nation legal luminary, human rights activists and political office holders, charged the judiciary to uphold its role as the third estate of the realm and check the powers of executive, especially in the area of electoral processes.
When you win an election and it is stolen, and you go to the judiciary, which should be the last hope of the common man, and then money again shows up to further cement the stealing, then you have no hope. And I've gone through this, and I know how it feels. So it will be very, very necessary that we begin to look at our profession one side and money the other side.
Senior lawyers must take this profession very seriously. Right now, Olisa, it's not about INEC. Lawyers are contributing more to the subversion of the democratic process than INEC or politicians. And I'm talking of senior lawyers. Like you yourself have said, a man has come, he lost an election, a bad case. Say, please, can you help me? No, 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 your case is bad. Your case is bad. But some bad lawyers amongst us, senior lawyers, will give the impression that they could perform magic. They will collect money, and in very bad cases, collect money for judges. If they lose the case, the other side has paid more. If they win the case, they have delivered to the judges.
In 2007, a 22-man committee headed by the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, Justice Muhammad Uwesi, submitted a report which provided solutions to issues of electoral process in Nigeria. Legal experts say implementations of committees' findings could help resolve the nation's many electoral problems.
It is such a far-reaching report that those who say, and I agree entirely with Governor Abia, those who say that the judiciary don't have a role to play in selecting leaders will also have to consider the crass incompetence of INEC since came to this new republic.
On his part, the outgoing chairman of NBSP advocates proper scrutiny from the primary level of all political parties in the country.
We must go beyond the general election, look also into the primary election of political parties, because if you don't get it right at the political party level with the primaries, then you will have really a corrupted, electoral system at the end of the day. So this issue, we don't interfere with the internal affairs of a political party, is giving room for a lot of wrongs being done.
Stakeholders and legal experts have urged the Independent National Electoral Commission not to see the commission as an institute only for conducting elections, but also as a regulatory body during electoral process. Sydney Okafor, TV360 News, Lagos.
Well, we'll take a break here, but still to come, all passengers aboard Titanic submersible confirmed dead after 5 days on the sea. We'll bring you details of the story and more when we return. Join us again.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians have said in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories tonight. The newly appointed Chief of Defence Staff Major General Christopher Musa has taken over as the 18th Defence Chief with a promise not to let Nigerians down, particularly on issues bordering national security, vowing that the determination of the military to secure the country would not be doubted. Musa also assured that terrorists, bandits and other criminal elements will be properly dealt with. We also told you that Rear Admiral Emmanuel Ogala has assumed office as the 22nd Indigenous Naval Chief. Ogala, who took over the leadership of the Navy from Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, who had been in command since January 2021, called on the personnel of the Nigerian Navy to prioritize the safety and protection of the nation's maritime domain. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex or TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, on Facebook at TV360 Online. Now to COVID-19 stories, Moderna has announced the submission of an application to the Food and Drug Administration for authorization of its updated COVID-19 vaccine for this year's inoculation campaign meant to target the current dominant strain in the US. The latest version of the coronavirus vaccine and the second update to the original that was first authorized at the end of 2020 will have proteins designed to confer protection against the XBB.1.5 subvariant. Unlike the bivalent vaccine that was made available in 2022, Moderna says this shot does not include protection against the ancestral Wuhan strain. We'll take a short break and return with business updates. Stay with us. Welcome back. Folashade Ogurinde now joins us with the latest business updates. Folashade, over to you.
Well, many thanks, Mary. In business, the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, LAMATA, said the Blue Line rail system will begin operations in August 2023. The managing director, LAMATA, Abimbola Akinajo, said the test run activities would soon close, allowing for passenger operations to commence. On January 24, 2023, former President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurated the first phase of the Blue Line rail project in Lagos. The governor of Anambra State, Charles Soludo, says the federal government needs to double its spending from 2 to 3% of gross domestic product to over 10% in bridging the nation's huge infrastructure gap. The governor, who spoke at the 2023 yearly lecture organized by the Nigerian Academy of Engineering held at the University of Lagos, lamented that Nigeria's infrastructure stock is estimated at 20.25% of GDP, which is less than the international benchmark of 70% of GDP. In a remark, Lagos State Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat emphasized the need for skill acquisition and knowledge in engineering and support for professionals in practice for the development of the country.
That we need to be investing a minimum of 8 to 15% of GDP in public infrastructure investment per annum over the next decade, from the current 2 to 3%. Then something must change. And I want to say that that thing that has to change will be disruptive, and I propose a disruptive Big Bang approach that will be needed. It will be disruptive, it will be a Big Bang that will be needed, and it's an agenda with a deadline.
In the face of dwindling economic fortunes, especially in the area of revenue generation, it has become absolutely imperative for us to apply innovative and creative strategies to bring the financing gap being experienced at the moment. Lagos State, for example, we have started the building of the 4th mainland bridge. 2 PPP, but I must say, it's taking about 5 years. It's taking about 5 years because 2 things matters to people that are bringing their resources: security and, of course, the ability to get their money back.
Government should declare a state of emergency in the area of critical infrastructure, including electricity, transportation, housing, manufacturing, and of course, security. The Nigerian Academy of Engineering offers to assist governments at federal and state levels in providing advice in actualizing the suggestions above and others in the area of using engineering and technology to drive development.
We'll take a break now and be back with a review of the stock market. To stay with us. The bears held sway on the last day of trading on the NGX as the all-share index depreciated by 0.01%. Investors recorded a marginal loss of 4 billion naira as market capitalization closed at 32.24 trillion naira compared to 32.241 trillion naira recorded in the previous trading session. Now, these equities, that's the Unity Bank PLC and Wapik Insurance, topped the losers chart. Their share price settled at 1 naira 10 kobo and 89 kobo respectively. Now, conversely, National Salt Company led the gainers with 10% share price appreciation, closing at 18 naira 70 kobo per share. Now, at the end of last week day of trading, a total of 627.8 million volume of shares are valued at 9.15 billion naira, exchange hands in 6,953 deals. Now, same sentiment was reported on the global scene as some select global stocks as the FTSE, Dow Jones and Nikkei all closed in the reds. Now, stocks on Dow Jones fell on Friday, with Wall Street on track to post a losing week as a rally that carried the broader market in recent months appeared to run out of steam. And that's it on business news and stock market review. Back to you, Mary, for the rest of the news.
Many thanks for the update, Falashade. Now on the global scene, the deep-sea submersible carrying 5 men on a voyage to the century-old wreck of the Titanic has been found in pieces from a catastrophic implosion that killed everyone on board, ending a multinational 5-day search for the vessel. The Titan, operated by the US-based company Ocean Gate Expeditions, had been missing since it lost contact with its surface support ship on Sunday morning, about an hour 45 minutes into what should have been a 2-hour dive to the world's most famous shipwreck. In the confirmation of the tragedy, sub operator Ocean Gate in a statement said the men were true explorers who shared a distinct spirit of adventure and a deep passion for exploring and protecting the world's oceans, and sent condolences to every member of their families. And the sports president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Ibrahim Gusau, has declared that the decision on the future of the Super Eagles head coach Jose Peseiro will be made by Nigerians. Peseiro was appointed in June 2022 under the board led by former NFF president Amaju Pinnick, with the Portuguese manager hired after the Super Eagles failed to qualify for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The NFF chief said there was a plan to leave the decision to Nigerians and hear their views about the situation, and in the event Peseiro is allowed to leave, the NFF president also said public opinion will also be sought before the appointment of a new head coach. And the Wuxing Arts Troupe Nigeria, in collaboration with Hamidi Culture Office of China General Chamber of Commerce and Consulate General of the People's Republic of China in Lagos, has organized a cultural event to celebrate the Dragon Boat Festival and Nigeria Drawing Competition. The aim of the event, to demonstrate the cultural relationship between China and Nigeria, was held in Lagos. This next report has more details.
Upon the invitation of the Chinese community in Nigeria, over 100 students from different schools in Lagos have gathered to commemorate the annual celebration of the Dragon Boat Festival. The festival, celebrated by the Chinese communities in Nigeria and across the world, is in honor of the famous poet and politician Ko Yuan, who drowned himself in a river over 2,000 years ago for his boldness and speaking truth to power. The celebration had various activities, which included a drawing competition, and students from both primary and secondary schools participated in the competition by sending in their drawings. Thereafter, 24 shortlisted finalists were invited to showcase their artistic skills and creativity, and all finalists went home with cash prizes.
The Dragon Festival was good to show us what the Chinese people like to do in their culture. Thank you very much, and we love them for what they have done and the love that they shared for us with the children.
The event is interactive and educative, and I am happy about it.
The students were also taught to make the popular Chinese wrapped rice dumpling called zongzi, which is similar to Nigeria's bean pudding, also known as moi moi. The Consul General of the People's Republic of China in Lagos, Yang Yujin, while encouraging the students to focus on their education, revealed their plans were in place to make future celebrations even bigger.
During this day, to celebrate this festival and to commemorate our great Chinese ancient poet and patriot Qu Yan. So our parents usually educate the children what is the patriotism and how to serve the country.
Children is the future of the world. With the Chinese community in Nigeria, we must promote China and Nigeria culture. More support to the Nigeria children in education and sports.
On a part, Deputy Commissioner of Police and first Olympic gold medalist emphasized the need to build solid educational foundation for the children.
They came and gave our children what to go back to school, all the necessary items they provided for them. And today again, in order not to make them redundant, they have given them a wonderful competition, trying to make sure that they grow in their skills, their creativities, and sports as well.
Our kids are one of the most intelligent you can really look out for in the world.
And when we breed our children to be able to show their talents, we are really grooming them for the future. Look at what is going on now in the world. We have to pay attention to our children. The Chinese community is really investing into this. We are co-joining them to invest into our children. They have to be responsible and they have to be able to deliver for the future of this country.
Aimed at promoting peace, love and unity, the Chinese community says the Dragon Boat Festival will help strengthen the bilateral relations with Nigeria. Tamilore Akinkwole, TV360 Nigeria.
Well, on that note, we call it a wrap on the news this evening. Thank you for staying with us. I am Mary Kanu.